हेलो स्टूडेंट्स, वेलकम टू माय चैनल ओमनी ज्ञान। मेरे चैनल ओमनी ज्ञान में आप सब लोगों का फिर से बहुत बहुत स्वागत है। सो टुडे वी आर गोइंग टू लर्न द पोम अ फोटोग्राफ बाय Shirley Toulson. This is from the Hornbill English book, okay? And this is under the syllabus of class 11, both CBSE and the Meghalaya Board of School Education, MBOSE, okay? And as usual, I'm going to make here a line by line explanation. The poem is not very big. Okay, please listen to the explanation and keep your books open so that you can understand while I explain the lines. So without any further delay, let us start our explanation. All right, so stanza 1. Stanza 1, if you look at the book, stanza 1, the cardboard shows how it was when the two girls' cousins went paddling, each one holding one on my mother's hands, and she, the big girl, some 12 years or so, all three stood still to smile through their hair at the uncle with the camera, a sweet face. My mother's that was before I was born at the sea, which appears to have changed less, washed their terribly transient feet. Okay, so what is the explanation of stanza 1? Let us learn the explanation. So you see here that the poet is actually looking at an old photo album which is made of cardboard. ठीक है, तो पोएट जो है एक ओल्ड फोटो एल्बम देख रही है जो कि कार्डबोर्ड से बना हुआ है. What is there in the photo? The photo shows three girls walking on the beach holding each other's hands. तो जो फोटो है, the photo in the photo there are three girls, okay, who are walking on the beach while holding their hands. Okay, हाथ पकड़े समंदर के बीच के ऊपर जो है तीन लड़कियां जो है वो जा रही है. And the photo was taken. The tallest and oldest girl in the middle is the poet's mother. तो फोटो में तीन लड़की है. There are three girls in the photo. The girl who is standing in the middle, the tallest and the oldest girl in the middle, is the poet's mother actually. So the poet, the poet is looking at her mother's photo actually, which she found in her old album. Every one of us, we have photo albums at home, right? Okay, so the poet is also looking at that album, okay, and there's a very emotional touch in the poem also. Anyways, so just remember the tallest and oldest girl in the middle. There are three girls in the photo. The girl in the middle is the poet's mother. Where are they? They have gone to spend holiday on the beach, and they're walking on the beach, and then the photo was taken. The poet's mother was about 12 years old when the photo was taken. The poet की माँ जो है वो सिर्फ 12 साल की थी. The poet's mother, the age of poet's mother was only 12 years when the photo was taken. So you can easily imagine that the poet was not born also at that time. पोएट का जन्म भी नहीं हुआ था जब ये फोटो लिया गया था. We all have our parents' photos in our old albums, photo albums, right? I also have my mother's photo, okay, wearing mini skirt and giving pose. Obviously, it was a black and white photo, so we all remember like that. The two girls on either side of her mother are her younger sisters. तो दोनों जो लड़कियां हैं उसके माँ के दोनों साइड में, राइट एंड लेफ्ट साइड, मदर इज स्टैंडिंग एट द मिडल इन द फोटो, एंड ऑन द टू साइड्स आर हर मदर्स younger sisters. Okay. The poet's uncle took the photograph and asked them to stop and pose. तो poet की जो uncle है उन्होंने ये photograph लिया था. Okay, and obviously the uncle might have told the three girls that yes, you give a pose. हम लोग different poses में photo देते हैं. We give, we click photos in different poses. So the poet's uncle might have told the three girls that you give some pose and you stop, you give a pose, and I'll take the photograph. So the photograph was taken. All three girls had wet hair and smiled at the camera. So what do we do when we look at the camera? We always smile at the camera while, uh, taking photo. So in the same manner, all the three girls, including the poet's mother, okay, they had wet hair because they were enjoying the, at the sea. So they had wet hair. Maybe they had taken a bath in the sea water. So they had wet hair and they gave a pose to the camera and they smiled at the camera and the photo was taken. The poet notices her mother's sweet and innocent face in the photo. Okay, so the poet, she looks at the photo and she looks at her mother in the photo. Her mother was very sweet and her mother had a very innocent face in the photo. And it is obvious this photo was taken long before the poet was born, because you see, if her mother is only 12 years old, that means the poet was not born also at that time. Poet का जन्म भी तब नहीं हुआ था जब ये photo लिया गया था, right? Anyways, the poet calls their feet terribly transient because they were young but are now old. तो जब ये फोटो लिया गया था तब तो all the three girls were young, including the poet's mother. So the poet is actually calling their feet terribly transient, because you see now they were young at that time, but now all are old. ये जो तीनों लड़कियां हैं, all the three girls at that time they were 10, 11, 12 years. Her mother was 12 years old, but now they have grown bigger. Okay, वो अब जो बड़ी हो गई हैं, obviously poet's mother has has now become old. So transient means temporary. Transient का मीनिंग होता है समथिंग विच इज टेम्पररी. ओके, टेम्पररी. तो पोएट की जो मम्मी है और मम्मी की जो दो बहनें हैं, द अदर टू सिस्टर्स ऑफ हर मदर, इंक्लूडिंग द पोएट्स मदर, all have grown old now. So their physical feature is temporary, right? It is not permanent. We keep growing, we become old, we are baby, infant, then we grow into adulthood, then we grow into old age. Okay, so our body keeps changing. It is not permanent, it is temporary. The growth of the body is temporary, right? Okay, uh, but now they have changed because they have become old. But see, the sea which touched their feet has not changed much over time. लेकिन जो समंदर का पानी है, the sea water which actually touched their feet while they were walking on the beach, that sea has not changed over time. It is almost same only, because sea, river, those are always same. Even after 10 years also, if you go to any sea, any beach, and if you look at the sea, you will see that it is same. Nothing has changed. Okay, maybe few things have changed. Okay, but it has not changed much. So the sea is permanent, but we are temporary in nature. Okay, so the poet wanted to show this contradiction, this opposite nature of human beings and nature. Actually, nature does not change much, but we keep on changing. Okay, so in other words, the three girls in the photo have changed, but the sea remains almost same even today. तो तीनों लड़कियां जो है फोटो में वो चेंज हो चुकी है, लेकिन समंदर ऑलमोस्ट सेम ही है. एंड द सी हैज चेंज्ड, बट इट हैज चेंज्ड वेरी लिटिल. समंदर में भी कुछ चेंजेस आया है, बट वेरी लिटिल चेंज. ओके, दैट यू कैन सी. Now we come to stanza 2. So some 20, 30 years later, this is stanza 2, okay? Should laugh at the snapshot, see Betty and Dolly should say, and look how they dressed us for the beach. The sea holiday was a past. Mine is a laughter, both wry with the labored ease of loss. Okay? अब इसका हम लोग explanation देखते हैं. Let us see the explanation of stanza 2. So explanation is that after 20, 30 years, the mother would laugh while looking at the old photograph. तो 20-30 साल बाद, okay, after 20-30 years, see, her mother age in the photograph was 12. So after 20-30 years, her mother will be almost how much? 42, 45, or at least, yes, 45, okay. So her mother would be old at that time. Now when her mother would look at that photo, she herself would laugh, okay. Hey, see how I looked in the photo when I was young, but now I have become old. So mother would also laugh after looking at her own photo. She would ask the poet to look at her cousins Betty and Dolly in the photo. So she would ask the poet that, see in the photo, look at your cousins Betty and Dolly, okay, how they look in the photo. Then she would talk about how their parents dressed them up for the beach. So the mother would also talk to the poet, tell the poet that, see how our parents made us dress for before going to the beach. Okay, so all these things the poet's mother would tell the poet कि देखो बेटी और डॉली कैसा लगता है फोटो में, कैसा दिख रहा है फोटो में, और देखो इनके पेरेंट्स इनको कैसा ड्रेस पहना. बिकॉज यू सी, let me tell you, 20-30 years back, the dress style was different. Now style is different. Our dressing style, our dressing sense has become very different now. But you see, during our parents' time, their dressing sense was very different. Okay, there was a style among the men, okay, which was called bell bottom. Okay, the trousers that they used to wear, the bottom part would look like a bell. All right, and the knee part would be very skinny. How do I put, very slim. Okay, the knee part would be very slim, and it would be something like this, bell bottom pants, something like this. Okay, this would be the place where shoes are worn, and this is the knee part. The knee part was used to be very slim. Okay, and this portion looked like a bell. Actually, that is why it was called bell bottom. The bottom part looked like a bell. But now you see style have become very different. This is the age of jeans today. During my father's and mother's time, there were no jeans. Anyways, the sea holiday was her mother's favorite memory from the past. So, holiday at the sea was actually her mother's favorite memory from the past. And what is the poet's favorite memory? This is to her mother's favorite memory, that uh, the memory of the sea holiday. This was her mother's favorite memory. But what is a poet's favorite memory? A poet's favorite memory from the past was her mother's laughter, her mother's smile. The poet की favorite memory है उनकी माँ की हंसी, her mother's laughter. Okay, but the poet and her mother would remember those times that shall not come back again. The poet और उनकी माँ जो है वो कभी कभी sometimes when they sit and they have some discussions, they always say one thing, that the past will never come back. Those happy days will never come back. Those memories only will remain a memory only, but those times will never come back again. जो समय चला गया, that time does not come back again. Right? They both tried to accept and adjust to what they had lost. Now, the best thing is that you accept and you adjust. Don't cry what is lost now. Don't feel bad what is lost now. Okay, this is called nostalgia. Sometimes we remember our past and become a little sad. It's good, no problem. We call this nostalgia. Nostalgia, or to become nostalgic. That means you remember the past and you become a little sad, right? See, now, even when I used to study in the school, I had many friends. Only I think 4 or 5 of them are still today in touch with me, but I have lost all the other friends. Okay, and I remember my school days, how I used to play football, cricket with them. But now you see, I become a little nostalgic by remembering the past. Okay, so it has remained a memory, and it is always good you accept and adjust with it. Okay, now the line here labored ease of loss means coping or adjusting with time, especially with something which is lost. तो labored ease of loss मतलब क्या है कि आप cope कर लीजिए, you cope or you adjust with time, especially when you lost something. आपने कुछ खो दिया है, बट यू हैव टू कोप, यू हैव टू एडजस्ट विथ टाइम. आपको समय के साथ आपको एडजस्ट करना ही होगा. यू कैन नॉट कीप ऑन क्राइंग इफ यू हैव लॉस्ट समथिंग. ठीक है, तो लेबर्ड ईज ऑफ लॉस इज समथिंग that means you cope or you adjust with time. Over time you have to adjust if you have lost something. Okay, last stanza is stanza 3, only 4 lines. Now she's been dead nearly as many years as that girl lived, and of this circumstance there's nothing to say at all. It's silence, silences. The last 4 lines are a little tragic, a little emotional also. How emotional? The poet's mother died 12 years ago. You see, stanza 1 and stanza 2. In stanza 1 and stanza 2, if you have noticed, okay, there is no mention about death, right? But in the third stanza, the truth is revealed that the poet's mother died 12 years ago. 12 साल पहले poet की मम्मी मर गई थी. In the photograph, her mother was as old the number of years since her death. तो इसका meaning क्या है? I know maybe you did not understand the meaning, or maybe it is a little confusing. Here you see, in other words, the age of her mother was 12, right? At the time the photo was taken. And see, her mother had died 12 years ago. So both matches. When the photo was taken, her mother's age was 12. Okay. And her mother died exactly 12 years ago only. So both the numbers matched. Right? Okay. Now, whenever the poet remembers her mother's death, she cannot express how she feels. So obviously, you see, the poet, whenever she remembers her mother's death, she cannot actually express how sad she feels, how depressed she feels whenever she remembers about her mother or about her mother's death. ठीक है, वो एक्सप्रेस नहीं कर पाती, उनके पास लैंग्वेज नहीं है समझाने के लिए. हाउ शी फील्स शी कैनॉट एक्सप्रेस इन लैंग्वेज. ओके, and her mother's death has made her silent. She loved her mother like anything, and that is why her mother's death, first of all, her mother's death has made the mother silent. Obviously, dead bodies do not speak, so dead bodies are silent. Okay, so mother's death has made the mother silent, and the poet has also become speechless and silent because of it. because she loved her mother so much that after her mother's death, she cannot express how sad she feels. So she cannot express in language that feeling, and she has also become silent after her mother had died. Okay, that this is the poem, very emotional poem, a photograph. And how you like the poem, please comment in the comment section, or like दे दीजिएगा. Please put a like after watching the video. As I say, your like gives me a lot of motivation. So with that, I would like to end the video. Please subscribe to the channel, like and share my videos, and please put a like. I'm telling you again and again. And please follow me on Instagram, follow my website. I'll start giving notes also on website, and for some special notes you will have to purchase those notes only for ₹29 per lesson. Okay, if you want more details, you can uh, send me email also. The email ID is given in the description box. You can also DM me on Instagram link you can scan from here, or the link is given in the description box also, whichever is comfortable, convenient for you. So with love from Omni Gyan, and all the best to all of you. Thank you so much.